What's up, guys? I am Carly. Duh, for those of you who've been here a long time. Um, I haven't been on the YouTube platform in a while, and I wanted to just pop in across the board, across all platforms that I have going on right now. So, Patreon, YouTube, and the podcast space, and just give a little update about how things are going and what's going on and where you can find my work and what I'm offering right now. I was offering monthly energetic forecasts on YouTube, and it's been a while since I've done that. Those videos, I was really enjoying the community that was growing in that space, but something about being on that platform all the time just didn't feel really great. So I have since been playing with other things. We have an Instagram page, Zenish, Zen dot ISHHHH, where you can find updates on what's happening with Sunday service, which is a class that I teach once a month in Slidell, where you can find content on tarot, on energy, on astrology, just anything that feels really inspiring and easy to digest. It really is a space for people who are interested in learning more about energy, about the work that I do, about little bits and pieces of information that you can take with you in your day-to-day life. Thought prompts, like journal prompts, which are all really important pieces in this journey of self-discovery. And I feel like this community has become a home for people who are interested in learning about who they are, who are interested about finding themselves on a soul level and really living out authentically who they are meant to be in this life. I feel like a lot of this community, especially the people who show up to Sunday service and are active in our virtual space, it's a lot of women who are feeling like something needs to change, are feeling the pull to let go of old habits, to live a life of more, like a fuller, happier, more joyful, aligned life. And so when we feel that call, when we feel that pull, it's really hard to have one foot in the old life and one foot in a new way of being, because the foot in the new way of being literally doesn't know where to stand. It doesn't know where it's going. It doesn't trust where it wants to settle. There's just so much unknown. And so the toe is kind of just dipped in that water. And then we have another foot in our day-to-day routine, the life we've been living forever, and it doesn't feel really good there. And so we're kind of in this in-between space. What do we want to keep about who we've been? What do we want to change, and where do we begin? And I feel like Sunday service and It's a Village and Zenish and all of these spaces offer so many tools and tips and tricks where you can just take what feels good in the moment, play with it, play whatever it is with whatever it is we're working on together as a community, apply it to your life and see where it lands. It's like throwing something and seeing if it sticks, like casting a line out and seeing if we catch anything, seeing if it feels good. And the whole time you're playing and experimenting, you are being held in a community setting where making this transition, following your heart, connecting with, figuring out what it means for you to connect with the divine, to find God. It's messy, and there has to be a safe space for us to explore all realms of possibility until we find where we belong, till we find solid footing and we can take another step forward. And then we do the same thing. We play around, we take another step forward. And the whole time you're held in this space, this community, where you have permission to feel and to try and to fall and to get back up and just be supported. So I feel like a lot of people in this community are space holders in one way or another, whether you're a mother, a homemaker, you are an entrepreneur, you are just very empathetic and loving, and just I'm surrounded by people who are wanting tools, who have tools to hold space. So how can we stand in ourselves, recognize our own energy, which is something we practice every single time we get together, and still hold space for the people we love? How can we not lose ourselves in holding space for the people we love? The people in this community are wonderful. Just, I'm really, really, really proud of the space that we have cultivated together. And this would be nothing without the people who show up podcast episode after podcast episode, who share love on Instagram, who follow the YouTube videos, who show up to Sunday service, who comment in our Facebook groups, who respond to the emails, who send me text messages. Like, we may be small, but we are so mighty. And every day I'm introduced to a new concept or a new person or a new idea that can be transformative in this community. And I'm just proud and I'm really excited. So the point of this video today is to catch you up a little bit, for those of you who haven't been here a while, since I intend to share this on YouTube, of where you can find my work. So we've already established the Instagram. I've recently been posting on Pinterest, which has been really fun. And then in lieu of the YouTube space, which I'm not saying I won't ever be here, I'm just saying I don't want to be in this space regularly, I am now on Patreon. And Patreon is very new for me. I know there are other platforms that exist in this space. Patreon feels really aligned right now. And every month there will be some piece of free content. I've been posting weekly free content. And as of this month, I'm going to start a subscription tier. It'll be $5.55 a month, 555 magic numbers. We incorporate magic anywhere we can. And what I can promise you with this subscription is that every month you will receive 4 pieces of content. So whether that's a weekly tarot reading, meditations that go along with the theme of the season, energy work, or classes and conversations around tarot and the chakra system and yoga. So whatever it is that I feel called to share with the community, I want there to be a space, an exclusive space for paid subscribers to receive content. And although I love posting free content, I am already sharing a lot of stuff that's free. And right now in my life, I am working really, really hard in this space. And I spend a lot of time cultivating this space and working in this space and creating content. And I believe in an equal exchange of energy. And I feel that by creating this paid subscription tier, the exchange of energy changes, and I think the content will change too. And there will be another level of accountability and a motivation for me too in this space. So I'm excited to see where this goes, and I really encourage you to subscribe. It's $5 a month. That's it right now. And I have a lot that I want to offer. I have notebooks full of ideas and classes and things that I want to share. And so I want to see you there. I want to work together there. So check out Patreon and yeah, check out some of the free content, which this video will be one of those things, and see how you feel about it. I also want to leave you with a reading for the month of June and kind of some themes that are coming up and things that I want to work with, and a little taste of some of the videos that you can find on the Patreon this month, because I have a couple of things already in mind for the subscription service. So number one, I want to talk about the loudest thing in the room right now. It's Gemini season, and the fifth chakra, the throat chakra, is, when I tell you loud, it's loud. It's loud in the way that every one-on-one service I've done this month, the throat chakra in our sessions together have been illuminated. Whether I can just like see in as a space holder, as a facilitator, I can see that this space is either like lit way the fuck up, whether there's a complete disconnect from the throat chakra and the rest of the body, or I've had people who are well versed in the language of energy healing who have straight up come in and just said, my throat chakra is where I need work. So throat chakra is loud, which makes sense. It's Gemini season. Geminis are the storytellers, the communicators. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, with this, which is the planet of intellect and communication. And this is throat chakra realm. This is, and I was listening to Sean Korn on YouTube talk about the chakra system. And when she got to the throat chakra, she was saying how when we get to the throat, especially when we're talking about the way Kundalini rises from the base of the spine through the whole system, when we get to the throat, if the rest of the energy centers we're not working with, we're not healing, we're not doing what needs to be done to show up and heal and take the time to sit with our energy. When energy moves up through the chakra system and gets to the throat chakra, what comes out and what is expressed is jaded or clouded by all of the shit that it has to pass through in the chakra system and then come out. So our truth becomes shrouded in all of the baggage that we're still carrying. And I don't necessarily believe that anyone does this perfectly, that we're 100% of the time we're doing this work healed. I'm just saying that it's something to keep in mind when we're working with this energy center. And what I feel the focus should be for the month of June is on the narratives and the stories. And when you're thinking, where are you? In each moment, where are you in your mind? When I was kayaking today, I was thinking about this episode. I was thinking about the 2 episodes that I just recorded, one with my mom, one with our beautiful friend Cole. I was thinking about the work that I have to do this week and going to the beach this weekend with friends. And I'm recognizing that when I am so lost in thought, I'm not in the moment. And I'm not saying that that's good or bad, because I really felt like I needed to be on the river. I need my head to be really clear and think about all of these things. And then every now and then I would take a moment and stop what I was doing and bird watch and watch the wind move through the trees and watch the rain fall on the water. And just, it was a chance to clear my head. And when we're in Gemini season, there's a lot happening up here. And if you're not careful, if you're not mindful, there's this element of disassociating. There's this element of getting lost in thought. And something that I was thinking about when I was on the river was, am I okay with my mind wandering to these places, kind of checking myself? And in that moment, yes, I was, because I was preparing for this podcast episode, and it's almost as if I'm sending energy while I'm on the river, sending energy to this episode and setting the intention for this episode, setting the intention for my work week. And when you are in this space of planning and being in your mind and organizing information, what kind of energy are you sending to the experiences that you're thinking about? I also found myself this week feeling incredibly anxious and thinking about this worst case scenario situation that is likely never going to happen. And it was another moment to call my energy back and think, okay, if I am sending something that wild and unhinged into my energy field, what am I calling in? If a situation were like this were to arise, I am not sending calm, grounded energy to this situation. I am sending very high strung, worst case scenario, super anxious energy to that situation. So this month, we're paying attention to where our thoughts are going and the words that we're speaking. Again, back to the stories we tell ourselves about different scenarios. When we're healing, when we're working through shit, especially in the lower chakras, we're dealing with trauma, we're dealing with past experiences, we're dealing with stored shit in the body. We just had TRE with Lorene of Cosmic Karma Life, trauma release exercise. And so after we had this experience together in May, a lot of people were coming up to me and talking to me about the experiences that they were reliving after TRE. I had a similar experience a few weekends ago. And so when those old stories come up, when we become activated, when we become triggered, what are the narratives that we're replaying in our minds? Again, I'm going to use myself as an example. I think it helps communicate what these experiences could potentially be like. I had one night where I was laying in bed and I had a confrontation, and I was asking myself, what about this situation activated me so much? And I checked myself, like, is this activation coming from a place of manipulation? Is it coming from a place of protecting myself? Is it coming from a place of needing to like let something come up and come out? And so I set an intention, I said a prayer asking for clarity around this situation. And what I realized was that everything in me was relating what had happened to me to a previous experience that I had. And I felt like it was an opportunity to communicate the boundaries that I needed and to do it in a way that was loving, and to also allow myself the space to feel this activation. And as I was replaying the things that had happened that had brought me to this place in my mind, I asked myself, what are the narratives and what are the stories that I'm telling? And I think that let's use, for example, something that's happened in childhood. When we're activated in our adult life, and that activation comes from a childhood wound, I want you to ask yourself if the story that you're telling now is the same story that you've told your whole life. And if that story is still aligned with this version of you that is healing and growing. Are you still the victim? Are you still struggling? Are you still hurting? Or are you more healed? Are you more self-aware? And is there a way to release some of the hold that that narrative has on you, or to change the story so that it feels more aligned to who you are now? Because when we're also talking about the throat chakra, we're talking about like expressing ourselves. And when we are using this space, we're also exchanging energy. It's like the worst time for yard work to be happening right now. And so when our stories are aligned, when we are using our voice in a matter of truth, we're less drained. We're feeding this space instead of becoming disconnected from it. And so being aware of the stories we tell and the words we use. Are they building our energy? Are they draining our energy? And slowing down. Allowing ourselves the time to get quiet. Allowing ourselves the time to reflect, being really mindful of how we speak and what we say. I feel like there's a lot more I want to say on this topic, and there's cards that I've pulled for every week through the month of June. And towards the end of June, we move into Cancer season, which is cardinal water. So we start talking about the element of water. We start talking about the really nurturing elements of Cancer, and the moon and what it means to really be in that Cancerian mama bear, super nurturing energy. We're going to be transitioning into a whole different vibe. So for now, I'm going to leave you with all of this food for thought. We're about at 20 minutes, which is where I wanted to stay. Like I said, I have so much I want to offer right now. So please check out the Patreon. Check out the podcast, okay? So we have Cole Held, who will be on in a couple of weeks to talk about sound baths and a new project that he has going on. And we dive into a really beautiful conversation about balance and recognizing the most subtle shifts and changes in our energy. It's a beautiful conversation. And then this month, I also have my mom on. So Honey, AKA Cherie, AKA Mom. If you have been on this journey with me, you've likely met my mom in sacred space, or you have heard me talk about her and how she introduced me to this whole world and how she's just my twin, my bestie. And I am so excited for her to be on the podcast and to share her journey and her passion with all of you, and really ridiculous stories about what it's like to be the mother of 5 through the chaotic upbringing that we have. And I'm just excited to have her in this space. So I really love you guys. I am so excited for all of the goodness that I have in store for us this season. Subscribe to all the shit. There's a lot of good things going on. I love you guys so much. Peace out.